Are you a YouTuber who is just learning the ropes of hiring out a team, being able to actually have a team? Maybe you just have one person right now. Maybe you're trying to do 2 or 3 and you just don't know how to manage it. And maybe partly that's because you want to do everything yourself and maybe you don't know how to let go a little bit. Or maybe you just don't know if you can be confident that your team is going to give the work that you requested of them. Well, these are some simple ways that you can make sure that you can manage your team from a bird's eye view and feel confident that they're going to provide all of the results that you were hoping for. So first off, with number 1, make sure that you establish very clear roles and responsibilities to every single individual, making sure that they are fully aware of your own boundaries and also how they're supposed to know what they're supposed to do exactly. You can do this by creating SOPs before you actually hire the job. You can do this by making sure you're going into over detail into every single document that you give them. Why? Because it's just better safe than sorry to just assume that they understand what you're trying to say than just go ahead and actually be very, very detailed with everything that you're requiring of them. And then when you're going to assign tasks, make sure that when you assign it, that they know exactly what day it's supposed to be due, and also let them know in a message as well. So it's one thing to maybe use a productivity tool with Asana and be like, okay, I assign this to you and here's the date. Make sure that you also follow up in a little message. Maybe you have a communication system like Slack and you just say, hey, just so you know, take the person and say, I assign this to you, hoping to have it done by this day. Just having that extra layer will really confirm that that person knows exactly what you're looking for, when it's due, and how to do it exactly how you want it to be. Now, moving on to number 2, which is effective communication. Communication is key for a solid business and a solid team. If you want to have your dream team, you have to make the effort to know that you have perfect communication that is crystal clear among everybody. And by using a simple tool like Slack, for example, then you're able to make sure you have a bird's eye view of all of the different departments that you've created. Even if your team is just 2 or 3 people, between those few people, they're gonna have different roles. And so 1 or 2 of them is going to be maybe in your marketing channel on Slack, or maybe all of them is going to be in a high ticket program that you're working on. And so making sure that you have topics in Slack of where information goes where. So if they know, okay, if we're talking about your YouTube community tab, okay, is there a specific channel for that? Or are we talking about digital products that you're creating? Okay, make sure that you have a specific channel for that so that all the information is exactly where it needs to be, all the communication is supposed to be where it's supposed to be, and everybody is very clear on it collectively. Communication is very clear. Going off of communication, making sure that you follow up with your workers. Now, it's always great to make sure that you give them enough space to do what they need to do, but it's also great to just make sure that they have any questions, or if something is unclear, that you give them that opportunity to let you know, because there's some people out there who are a little shy and that they just want to do the best that they can, give it to you, and it's actually not what you wanted. So you want to make sure you have that space and that welcomeness around you, that they are able to reach out and be like, hey, I'm not too clear on this. So make sure you follow up. Hey, quick interruption, just to announce that we are getting so close to hosting our exclusive workshop on how to launch a YouTube channel that scales your revenue to 6 or 7 figures in just 2 hours per week. And it's going to be hosted by our founder, the one that we all love, Marissa Romero. In this workshop, you're going to learn Marissa's 4-part framework that creates an evergreen YouTube channel that's going to provide and keep pushing out passive income just to you. And most importantly, turn your subscribers into sales. You're gonna learn the top 3 mistakes that new creators always make, which always cost the business owners money, time, and how you can just avoid it all from the beginning. Not only that, you're also going to get a never before seen YouTube system that's going to light your content creation production on fire. So this is perfect for you if you are a business owner who is wanting to create a profitable YouTube channel from scratch and have it be your main source of marketing for your business. Or if you are a business owner who already started a channel, but you're not seeing the growth and success that you were hoping for, and you're trying to find some way to supercharge your impact and your revenue. So what are you waiting for? Be sure to register for this workshop. It's going to be the first link in our description, and the page looks just like this. See you at the workshop. that leads me to my next tip, which is to provide constructive feedback when you need to. Why? Because if you are planning to have a team member who's going to be there for the long haul, they really need to be clear on everything about you from like a 360 angle. They need to know exactly how you like your branding. They need to know exactly how you like to communicate, whether that's by email, whether that's by Slack, all those little things. They need to know you inside and out. One by one, to have that communication, like, don't really love that we did it this way. Is there a way you can change it to this way? And so then that person will know for the next time in the future, oh, I know from that one experience that so-and-so, Mr. Boss Man, Mrs. Boss Lady prefers it this certain way. So being able to give them constructive feedback will help everything move so much smoother and faster, even in the long haul. So make sure you are there to help mentor them and help them improve and grow with you in the company so that they will stay longer, and then you can definitely have someone you can rely on later on. Make sure every time that you give some kind of constructive feedback, also follow up with something positive, because you want to make sure that they're not just feeling like, oh, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. You don't want them to feel like that. You want them to feel open and excited, and also like be understanding of where you're coming from too. So always follow up with something positive to let them know what they are working on amazingly, so that they feel welcome, they feel great, they want to work for you. All right, this next one is to make sure that you are encouraging innovation and creativity. Especially when it comes to content creation, you need to have other eyes. It cannot just be yourself trying to figure it all out alone. You have your team. You can ask them questions. You can ask maybe your virtual assistant, like, hey, like, what would you think about this type of topic? Is this something that's interesting? Things like that. Getting another perspective from your own team is going to be really beneficial for your own company, and giving them that opportunity to express their own creativity and innovation within your company is probably going to benefit you a lot more than you think. And you can't be dismissive of anybody's ideas either. Make sure any suggestion that's given by your team is thought out and considered before giving them like an answer, because they are going to be very valuable to building your company. All right, and the next tip to making sure that you are managing your team effectively is to really make sure you have a positive and an encouraging environment. Now, this can be hard a lot when you are just working remotely over a computer, but if you are able to provide that open space of like, hey, anything you need, I am here, I'm a click away, those kinds of things, it's gonna really help bring your team together. And especially having like either weekly or monthly meetings when you all get together, that's gonna be really important for everybody to know where everybody is at, making sure everybody's on the same page, that nobody's feeling neglected or nobody's feeling like maybe they need to ask questions but they're too scared to, you know? Like, you need to make sure you have that positive and friendly environment, even if it's all digital and remote work, so that everybody is positive, everybody's happy, everybody wants to succeed together. And remember, whenever you are setting a positive example for your team members, and they are going to strive for their best for your company. So that's really important. And lastly, making sure that your team sees you as a very positive role model. If you are showing that you are stressed out or you're angry about something more often than you're doing something positive, they are going to feel that, and they are going to feel burdened by that because of your actions. Making sure that you are setting the tone of how a leader should be professionally and demonstrates dedication and strong willingness, that is going to truly lead the path to great things for your company. When you are that role model, that is going to set everything else up easily. So making sure that you're able to manage yourself so that you can manage your team is going to be the best thing you can do for yourself. So remember, having success on YouTube is a collective effort. It is by everybody's opinions. It's about everybody's suggestions and ideas all put together for your channel. So making sure that you use these strategies are really going to help empower your team to do the best for you. Now, if you're wondering what else you should focus on when it comes to YouTube, well, they always have some new updates happening, and I made a whole video recently about the newest updates happening, some old features coming back, and even some new analytics that are really important. So check it out over here. An old feature is coming back to YouTube, and we have new analytics for shorts. So those are just a couple of things happening with YouTube in the next few weeks.